Good morning, YouTube. Leo here, and we've got a lot to talk about, so go ahead and get your coffee. Take a sip. Good stuff. Because we have got a lot of things to go over real quick about how not even 24 hours later, like I said they would, they'd be dancing on graves. Brave souls have hidden themselves behind lock and key. And Alec himself apparently predicted this would happen. So let's get into it, shall we? So I guess we can go ahead and start with the dancing on the grave thing, because I said it somewhere in my last video. This is an update video for my last video. It's not something I get to do that often, or do that often anyway. I mean, trying to find the time to even record sometimes. But anyway, so there was that. Just like we've seen in the past when, say, TB passed away, or other people, certain groups out there came out to dance on their graves. I mean, heck, somebody like Zoe Quinn or Anita Sarkeesian can kick the bucket, but I'm not going to run around and dance on their graves for doing so, even though I'm not a big fan of theirs. But these people are just disgusting. Straight down projection from miles, because they are disgusting, horrible human beings. Let's just sort of take a look at some of this stuff. You've got people straight up replying and, tweeting at his sister, telling them, we hope he suffers. Does it count if a rapist commits suicide? Seems more like a necessary cleanup work. All of this stuff. I'm already seeing a ton of backlash against Zoe Quinn now that Alec, her abuser, killed himself following her allegations against him. Cut that shit out. How an abuser responds to their behavior being made publicly is not the victim's responsibility. And you know what? That one right there, that one in the center, would be 100% absolutely correct. If we knew he was an actual abuser. Because last time I checked, the police were not called. The FBI was not called. Or whatever Canada's equivalent wasn't called, because as far as I'm aware, all this stuff happened in Canada. When she went up to visit him or whatever, stay with him for a bit. And no authorities were apparently called. Like, seriously. Anyway, I just don't believe that, especially not with Canada and their political space and everything else like that. I'm sure they'd come rushing to help a girl in distress if she called for them. But anyway, besides that, of course, with all this has led to her having to lock her Twitter account as a result, because of pretty much the straight up harassment. And before somebody says, well, isn't that the same thing you and everybody else does to all these other people like Zoe and stuff? Yeah, we're talking about her. But we don't straight up reply to their messages. Well, some people do. But we don't seek them out. We don't at them at Twitter when we post a video about them or anything. When they come to us to find it, that's harassment of their own making at that point. It's only harassment when you direct it, the current thing, to the person. But anyway, point is, these people are out there doing all this good stuff because, they're brave, amazing souls. They're horrible people. I would say a lot worse, but, YouTube and its thing. I'm trying to keep things as family friendly as possible and not drop what I did last time. Anyway, but why did this happen? I guess that's the next question. I mean, it's been predicted, still there's predictions. Let's just take a look. Here's Zoe's Social Blade analytics real quick. We can take a look, see what we're doing here. But somebody, they need some money. and they need more followers and other things. And you can see as we scroll up through here that you've got the 26th here. That's the time she made her post. And she was pretty stagnant for the most part. Maybe a little bit, in the plus, not a whole lot. But after that, boom, you got quite a bit. The following days, over 3,000. We're looking at what? 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 maybe, close to 5,000. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, somewhere around the 5,000 mark. My math is horrible. Over 5,000. But, that's definitely something she wanted, of course. Which we've seen in the past. I'm talking about the whole Jared thing and Chai and Charlie and stuff. Because they did the same thing. They went ahead and became the victim. With their stories and all that good stuff. And suddenly they were pimping out their Patreons, their wish lists, and donation buttons and other things to cash in on the victim bucks while they could, of course. But, our brave souls, our brave soldiers out there. Brave soldiers. I'm sorry. That's... I didn't mean to do that. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Anyway, these brave souls out here, these brave, sweet souls going out there doing the work, making us aware of these evil people and stuff, have run and fled once a life has been taken because of these things. They knew that Alec had mental issues. He was depressed, among other things, and was taking antidepressants and things. And she knew this would probably crush him. You can see similarities with this in so many other things. Let's go with the pro Jared thing. Honestly, it feels like Heidi is literally on a warpath trying to destroy his entire career, and both of them are at fault for what has happened between the two of them. I guarantee it that both of them played a part in it. But it feels like Heidi is just straight up trying to nuke him, and continues to do so. You've got the thing with Vic in the anime industry, where several people came out against him. No real proof. Hearsay. I heard from somebody who heard from somebody. Their biggest claim is a jelly bean incident where he ate a jelly bean and said, "I just ate Monica." Ha ha ha. Dad joke of the year material. Meanwhile, these same people, if you haven't seen the funny leaks, look up #funnyleaks. You'll enjoy it. The stuff is great. I mean, it's funny. Not great, but funny. As blooper reels and stuff like that. And it's kind of the thing that Team 4-Star would be doing. But they're doing things a lot worse than a jelly bean dad joke. And they're crucifying a man for, or attempting to crucify a man for. And he's fighting back. The similarities between all these scenarios, and there's more, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. You can go look and find them. I mean, heck, we showed at the end of my last video that forklift driver who apparently committed suicide after being alleged against for, whatever. But, yeah, these people, they're so brave. They come out, they do their thing, they destroy somebody's life for whatever reason. Personal gain for the most part. Maybe it's jealousy. Maybe they want what they have. I mean, if you look between, their statistics between, say, Zoe and Alec, you can tell who's been doing more in the gaming industry by a mile. I mean, by like 5,000 miles, if anything. Considering our girl Zoe here, the brave, the beautiful, the amazing person who brought us Depression Quest. That top tier game of legend, I'm telling you. Straight up, just legendary game. who got to work on a comic book known as Vertigo that did so well, that they were forced to cancel its run because they just could not print enough. That's what it was. They couldn't print enough off to satisfy the comic book goers out there, so they had to cancel the run. Yeah. But anyway, she was running hidden, running behind. She has deactivated her account, so you can't exactly find it. See on the screen as we sit here. Her Patreon has also had a similar fate recently. I mean, it's still up. You can join her Patreon. Her Patreon of the last archive was about 538 Patreons, somewhere around 100 or 1,372 per month. And I've heard other people talk about the Patreon part, and they're talking about how it's a mortgage and, all this, that, and the other. I mean, reality for me, if I was to take that versus my own finances, that's a little bit about more than half of my bills per month, because I think my bills are around 2,200 or something like that, give or take a few hundred per month. So having that extra bit of cash would definitely help me pay the bills around here and allow me to buy new games and upgrade stuff. I don't have a Patreon, so don't go looking for it. Not that anybody's really going to go look for my Patreon. I've got like 39 subs. But hey, if you're new here and you've just run across and you somehow have made it into the 12-minute mark, like, subscribe, comment, share this video out to your friends and bring them in too. Join the crew here at Zoe Gaming. Oh, and we have a Discord somewhere down in the description. Yeah, go for it. Maybe one day I'll have a Patreon or a subscribe star or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, but she's got a Patreon and she hasn't updated this thing in months. I mean, we can look at it right here. Her last update was in 2017. It is now 2019. It's been a few years since we've had an update in December. Of course, I can't see it because I'm not a Patreon and I'm not about to give her any money. Because, I mean, we're talking about a woman who has gained money for a game that she has yet to produce anything on for over a year at this point. 80-some thousand on an Indiegogo or GoFundMe on it. And has swindled people out of money since like 2014, 2013 or so, whenever it was that Gamergate became a big thing the first time. But yeah, if we scroll up though, that count that used to be up here of oh wait, I do have my mouse on. Okay, I was about to say I don't think my mouse is up here. Anyway, that count that used to be up there that told you how many Patreons or whatnot, she did log in just the other day and hide that. So you can no longer see how many Patreons she actually has, how much money, roughly how much money she's getting in through Patreon. But it is up here, so you can become a Patreon if you want to. You can join the $1 club, the $1 tier. All patrons will get early access to all my games and other larger projects. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the first time I've read this. All Patreons will get access to all my games or other larger projects and exclusive updates on my projects. Yeah. Anyway, on my projects, Crash Override guides. By the way, Crash Override, that's a whole other beast. Are exempt from this and will ship ASAP to the world at large, since helping people sooner rather than later is a higher priority for those. Okay, that's funny. So all of those people out there, those swindled people donating $1, you've been lied to a lot, especially if you're expecting updates, because there hasn't been one in years. And the only game I really produced was Depression Quest. Just saying. So, good luck to you. Oh, that's great. Oh, it's right here. Other games like Depression Quest or Waiting for Godot. The game. What is that? I've never even heard of that one. Okay. Is that one of those projects you started and then stopped? Anyway, she also does the Crash Override Network. If you hadn't heard about that, that's a non-profit similar to the veins of feminist frequency, except for it deals with harassment and stuff and getting you help for harassment and things. However, if you're actually looking for help, they're going to turn you away and just sort of keep you going on like they're going to help you and then never actually give you any help, unless it's somebody they really like. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Alec is of course on point here. Apparently back in 2013 he called it Can't Wait for Pathological Liar Quest. And I think this is after they broke up. There was some heat going on, of course. I got game over pretty early and stuff like that. So, you can say they weren't exactly the best of friends after that experience. But yeah, he's pretty right. She's quite the pathological liar. We've seen it happen multiple times, all to get that sweet, sweet sympathy bucks. That's why she went to the UN. But let's go on to the final part here. I didn't want this to run too long, but we know me, I like to ramble. But this was back in 2016. Hello, I just turned 33. I wanted to take a break from I can't read. Making music for my video game to write about the particular birthday, as this is a bit hard to write, as I feel almost like a coming out of sorts. For the good chunk of a year, I felt like I wasn't going to make it to 33. The last couple of years have been incredibly shitty. But what about them was so hard to get over? It's something that has been hard to explain to others, but I'll make an attempt at it now. Or at it. Have you ever had the feeling that your life was in danger? There may have been a really clear reason for it, say something medical, or it could have been an assumption, walking on the street alone at night and seeing a stranger coming towards you. Your mind and body react in certain ways when this happens, like you get activated, put into survival mode. That whole thing with walking at night, strangers alone and stuff, that's a thing that feminists and things like to touch on, even though this isn't about feminism or anything. We can't even go walk to our car at night. Guess what? Dudes have the same problem. Not gonna lie, I have that problem. I'm pretty sure of myself. But if somebody has a gun and they're not close enough for me to make a grab or anything like that, I'm gonna be kind of, a little bit afraid for my life as well at that point. So, dudes have this problem too. It's not just a female thing. Just wanted to throw that out there. But for the last couple of years or so, I've been dealing with what is referred to as DBT therapy as a distorted belief. I'm putting distorted in quotes because even now I don't intuitively feel like it's necessary all that distorted. It's certainly hard for me to think of it as distorted because it seems as natural as anything else in daily life. Here's the distorted belief. I believe that certain people in the indie game community want me dead. Now, what does that mean exactly? Does it mean that I think they're going to walk up and stab me in the back with a knife at some point? No. I believe they are trying to covertly hurt me and my career to the point where I'm driven to suicide. I think that was it. Anyway. And, a few years back, he correctly predicted that something like this would happen. And maybe that's an insight into the indie game development scene that we just haven't had yet, other than a few choice people. Like Zoe Quinn, the mastermind behind Depression Quest and nothing else. From years ago. That is free. Somewhere on the internet for you to have. If you really, really want it. But, I've heard some rumblings of a Gamergate 2.0. I don't know too much about that being a thing. Not exactly sure where it would go, other than, I guess, trying to clean up the indie game dev scene somehow. That's going to be a little bit hard to do. Maybe it will take on cancel culture. And to be totally honest, I could get behind that. I got to sit there and watch the first Gamergate happen, and I wasn't making any videos at the time, so I couldn't exactly join in or anything. But if a Gamergate 2 does happen to spark or whatever to try and cancel culture, totally up for that. That sounds like a fun thing to do. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.